Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to plunge into some really fascinating sources and pull out the most potent insights for you.
That's right.
Today we're venturing into, well, a collection of tales that really blur the lines, between beauty and horror, sanity, delusion, and it all revolves around this mysterious, profoundly unsettling play. It's known only as The King in Yellow. We've got a whole stack of sources here, articles, excerpts, character notes. They're filled with, well, surprising facts, but also this kind of pervasive dread. It'll keep you hooked, I think.
And our mission really is to guide you through these narratives. We want to uncover the profound impact of this very enigmatic work. You should leave feeling well-informed and maybe a little unsettled as we, unravel these threads together.
Okay, so let's unpack the core mystery right away. The play itself, The King in Yellow. What are the first glimpses we actually get of this infamous, forbidden play?
Well, you encounter these really evocative lines. They're from Casilda's song, apparently Act 1, Scene 2. Imagine this. Along the shore, the cloud waves break. The twin suns sink behind the lake. The shadows lengthen in Carcosa.
Ooh.
Strange is the night where black stars rise and strange moons circle through the skies, but stranger still is lost Carcosa.
Wow.
And then there's this image, really ominous. Songs that the Hyde shall sing, where flap the tatters of the king must die unheard in dim Carcosa.
Yeah, those lines, they're the hook, aren't they? Chilling. They subtly plant these seeds of costume horror, but wrapped in, beautiful verse. It's not just describing a scene in a play. It instantly conjures this sense of a world that's deeply, deeply disturbing.
Right.
And what's really striking is how it immediately sets up these recurring elements, the mythos elements we're going to see again and again. You've got Carcosa, this mythical, kind of terrifying lost city.
Hoster, that's a mysterious name. Could be a person, could be a place, often linked to the play. The Hyatts, that eerie constellation. Landmarks like the Lake of Holly. Even the names, Casilda, Camilla, Yatil, Neotalba. They become these little breadcrumbs leading towards a larger, frankly, terrifying reality.
Yeah.
So the critical question, right from these opening lines is, how does a fictional play manage to warp reality so profoundly? How does it shatter the minds of the people who read it?
That really is the unsettling heart of it all, isn't it? So let's begin our deep dive into these effects with the first story, The Repairer of Reputations.
Mm-hmm.
This one gives us a really chilling vision. It's America in the 1920s, but different. It looks tranquil, prosperous, but individual perception, well, it can get terrifyingly warped.
Yeah.
So picture the U.S., late 1920. Outwardly, it's all calm, prosperous. President Winthrop's program is complete. But it's built on some pretty disturbing social policies. We're talking things like, and this is from the text, the exclusion of foreign-born Jews, setting up a new independent Negro state of Swanee, controlled immigration, gradual centralization of power. This peace, it seems, has been bought at a really dehumanizing cost.
It's exactly that. It's a peace achieved through intensely controlling exclusionary methods, individual liberties, easily sacrificed for what they see as stability. And amidst all this chilling societal calm, there's one advancement that just leaps out. Government lethal chambers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The first one opened right on Washington Square, established, supposedly, for people whose lives, and the government's phrasing is, through physical suffering or mental despair, had become intolerable.
Intolerable.
The rationale, the community will be benefited by the removal of such people. It's chilling. And the text even notes that suicides haven't increased since the law passed. It suggests this terrifying new normal has just been accepted. These chambers offer a painless death, and they're housed in this small, elegant white building, ionic columns, almost like a monument.
Huh.
And right in front, there's this splendid marble statue, the Fates, sculpted by a guy named Boris Yvain. We'll actually hear about him again later. It just makes you wonder, doesn't it? Is this some kind of compassionate solution, or is it the ultimate sign of a society that's just lost its humanity?
It's a deeply unsettling picture. And it's within this backdrop that we meet Hildred Castaigne. He's the narrator. And his mind has, it's profoundly fractured. He's obsessed. He believes he's the rightful heir to an imperial dynasty of America.
Right.
And he spends hours with this character, Mr. Wilde, who calls himself a repairer of reputations. There's a sign outside his door. Mr. Wilde himself is just bizarrely described. He's tiny, almost like a child, but with these grotesquely developed arms and legs. His head is flat and pointed like those the text says are often in asylums. He has artificial wax ears, painted pink, apparently his one weakness, and his left hand is absolutely fingerless, and his face, it's yellow.
Pissed. Wow. The description alone is unnerving.
Totally. And Hildred's delusion is just fed by Wilde's researches. He's reading this manuscript about the imperial dynasty, and Wilde connects it all to those mythos things we mentioned earlier.
Carcosa, Hester.
Exactly. Carcosa, Hastur, the Hyades, all of it. Hildred even starts seeing people around him as part of this delusion. His armorer, Hauberk, becomes the Marquis of Avonshire. He's totally caught up in this twisted narrative. He believes he possesses the yellow sign and a jeweled crown, symbols of this destiny he imagines.
This story, it's such a stark warning, isn't it, about the corrupting influence of forbidden knowledge, of obsession, the really precise details of Hildred's delusion woven into this future that's both, mundane and deeply sinister. It makes his descent even more disturbing.
Yeah, it does.
And his eventual end, dying in the asylum for criminal insane, it just powerfully reinforces this idea of the play's destructive power. It really forces you to ask, is Hildred just insane, a victim of his own broken mind? Or has he somehow become a conduit?
A conduit.
Yeah, has his mind opened up to some deeper, horrifying truth about a world touched by Carcosa, a truth maybe too terrible for sanity to actually bear?
That's a chilling thought. Okay, so from a society maybe driven to collective delusion, let's turn to The Mask. This story brings in personal tragedy, a chilling scientific discovery, and it further blurs those lines between art, life, and death.
Right, and Boris Yvain is back.
Exactly. Boris Yvain, the sculptor of the Fate statue at the Legal Chamber. Here, he's made this astonishing discovery. It's a liquid, and it can instantly turn living things to stone. Instantly.
Whoa.
He shows it off with an Easter lily, a goldfish. They become purest marble, glistening with this golden ray hitting them, which he calls the vital spark escaping. But even though the results are, breathtakingly beautiful in a way, Boris seems deeply concerned ethically. He vows the secret will die with him. He's afraid it would corrupt the world of art.
It's a really striking collision, isn't it? Science, art, and these profound moral questions all tangled up. Boris gets the destructive potential even while his creation produces this unnatural beauty. It brings up that question. Can beauty born from something so unnatural ever really be worth it? Does it always come with some kind of hidden tragic cost?
And at the heart of this story, there's this emotional triangle. It involves the narrator, Alec, a woman named Genevieve, and Boris himself. Alec loves Genevieve. She was the model for Boris's big famous sculpture, the Madonna, and she was meant to be the model for the Fates, too.
Oh, okay.
But Genevieve loves Boris.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. The tragedy just unfolds. Genevieve gets sick, a fever, becomes lightheaded, and she confesses her love for Alec to Boris.
Ouch.
Then, later, still feverish, delirious, she accidentally falls into the pool of Boris's petrifying liquid. She becomes this exquisite marble thing right there in front of the Madonna statue.
Oh, my God.
And Boris, he just immediately shoots himself through the heart.
Wow. That is intense. Yeah. This story just powerfully shows how personal tragedy can rip open a doorway to cosmic horror.
Yeah.
The physical transformations, they mirror these profound psychological ones.
Yeah.
Alec, the narrator, he gets sick too, right? Feverish, delirious. He starts seeing things, white creatures, heavy as stone, a wolf's head snapping at Genevieve. And crucially, his fevered mind goes straight to the king in yellow in the pallid mask.
There it is again.
Yep. He's conjuring images of the Lake of Hali, the towers of Carcosa behind the moon. He sees entities like Aldebaran, a Hastur, gliding like the scalloped tatters of the king in yellow. It's like his grief and fever just tune him into that wavelength. And even after they're dead, Alec's one sane thought is this weird, lingering obligation he feels towards Boris and Genevieve.
That's profoundly unsettling.
It really is. It suggests that even in personal grief, the characters are just drawn into this larger, terrifying mythos.
It's like their minds are already primed, waiting for that intrusion. Some characters, though, they have even more direct, more terrifying encounters with this power. Take the narrator of In the Court of the Dragon. He's suffering, right? 3 nights of mental, physical distress, and he says it explicitly. For I had been reading The King in Yellow.
The direct link.
Direct link. He's in church, and he gets really disturbed by the organist playing this wicked music. This organist keeps appearing and disappearing unnervingly. At one point, the organist just sends this look of hate, intense and deadly, right at him. He tries to rationalize it, nervous fool. But the dread, it just sticks. This fear just grows and grows, drives him out into the streets of Paris. He ends up in this place called the Court of the Dragon. It's this narrow, ominous passage known for its bad vibe.
Okay.
And the climax climax is this terrifying hallucination. The church vault seems to close in, the organ's blaring, there's this dazzling light, and then he sees it. Black stars hanging in the heavens, feels wet winds from the Lake of Hali, sees the towers of Carcosa behind the moon.
Whoa. Full-blown vision.
Totally. And as he's collapsing, he hears the organist's voice and then the king in yellow whispering to my soul, "It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God."
What's really compelling there is that clear psychological progression. It starts subtle, just unease, then spirals into full-blown cosmic terror. And it's explicitly, chillingly linked to reading the play. It shows the horror isn't just external, it's internal. It warps your perception, shatters your reality.
Yeah.
It really makes you ask, is what he experienced a true revelation? Did he glimpse a hidden, horrifying reality? Or was it a terrifying descent into madness, just triggered by the book?
Or maybe both.
Or maybe both. Exactly. That ambiguity is what makes it so potent.
It really is. And the yellow sign, that presents another terrifying encounter. Almost feels fated. This one works through disturbing dreams and a cursed object.
Okay, dreams and objects.
Yeah. It centers on an artist, the narrator, and his model, Tessie. Tessie starts having this recurring dream. A black-plumed hearse passes her window, and the driver turns, looks right at her. Super creepy. Then the narrator has a similar, equally disturbing dream. He's lying in this coffin-like box in a jolting wagon. Can't move, can't speak. He sees street lamps passing, then sees Tessie at a window looking down at him. He also notices this weird gangrene spreading on his canvas, something he just cannot scrub away.
Ugh. Okay, so the dread is building. What's the catalyst?
The catalyst comes when Tessie finds this object. It's a gold chain with a cross attached. She says she found it near the aquarium. The narrator desperately warns her, tells her not to touch the book. He has his copy of The King in Yellow.
But she does, doesn't she?
Of course she does. She finds it, laughs, and opens it. And in that instant, the narrator just knows, he says, "It was too late."
Oh, man.
Then this profound, unspoken understanding passes between them. The text says, "We had understood the mystery of the Hyades, and the phantom of truth was laid."
Understood the mystery, and that's bad news.
Very bad news. The story ends with the sound of the dull crunching of wheels. The hearse stops outside their door. This creature, this thing, enters. The bolts on the door just rot at its touch. It envelops the narrator in its cold, soft grasp. He hears Tessie's soft cry, and her spirit fled. And he understands. The King in Yellow had opened his tattered mantle.
Wow. These stories just hammer home that sense of predestination, don't they? Inevitability. Once you've encountered the King in Yellow, you're marked.
Yeah, it seems like it.
The dreams are like these chilling premonitions. And the yellow sign itself, it's both a literal thing and this metaphorical mark of inescapable fate. And the fact that they can't escape, even in a bolted room, it suggests this horror just transcends physical barriers. The idea that understanding the mystery leads directly to annihilation, that's profoundly disturbing.
That sense of inescapable destiny is just palpable. Okay, let's shift gears slightly. Let's explore the Demoiselle D's. This one feels different, almost like a fantastical romance. But it has this deeply unsettling undercurrent of time, of reality distortion.
Right, the Britney story.
Yeah. What happens to Philip? He gets lost on these desolate Breton moors. Old Gulven warns him, says it's a bad place for a stranger. Philip finds himself in this wild, treeless landscape, gorse, heath, granite boulders, and there he meets Demoiselle Jondi.
The mysterious woman.
Very mysterious. She speaks this old, forgotten French, uses archaic falconry terms. She lives in total isolation, basically. She's 19, never left the moor, says she's never even seen a human soul before, except her nurse Pelagie and 4 falconers. And one of the falconers, named Hastir.
There it is again. A direct link?
Direct link. Her books are centuries old. Pelagie tells legends about the moors being enchanted, and Philip even finds his modern clothes replaced by this close-fitting costume from another century.
The sense of time displacement is immediate, isn't it?
Yeah.
You feel it right away. Jin's isolation, her old language, it all screams forgotten era. It perfectly sets up the twist that's coming. And Jean teaches Philip falconry, right? Using all these specific old terms, like dressage for training, faire crepouiller à l'oiseau, allowing the bird to taste the prey. These details pull Philip and us into her isolated ancient world. It makes his whole taming by her feel both romantic and, well, weirdly fated.
Yeah, he plays along, says, "I am caught, I am yours."
Right, and then the disruption. A gray serpent appears. Philip opens his eyes and she's gone.
Gone.
Gone. The hawks, the perches, the garden, the drawbridge, all replaced by a heap of crumbling ruins, ivy-covered and gray. A single falcon flies from the ruins and vanishes. He's alone.
what was it? Was his experience real? A dream? Did he slip through time? What are we supposed to make of that?
Well, the Demoiselle Deuce just masterfully plays with these themes, doesn't it? Illusion, memory, maybe even actual temporal displacement. That fated love story happens in this liminal space where reality itself feels porous, unstable. It leaves you, the listener, questioning the very nature of existence. Do certain truths persist even if the physical world literally crumbles around them? Did he stumble into the past, or was it a vision planted by something older?
It leaves so many questions. Okay, shifting gears again. Let's explore how this unsettling feeling can show up even in seemingly normal Parisian street stories. These often reveal subtle, personal tragedies, but still touched by the strange. First up, the Street of the Four Winds.
Okay.
Here we meet Severn, an artist. He has this weird interaction with a stray cat. The cat is wearing a rose-colored flowered garter.
A garter on a cat.
Yeah, buckled with a silver clasp engraved with the name Sylvia Elvin. Severn gets curious, asks around about the owner. People react differently. The butcher knows the cat. The baker, Cabane, is sarcastic, says grimly. Into this cursed street of the four winds blow all things evil. But a sculptor says the owner was very good and very beautiful.
Conflicting reports.
The story ends with Severn finding Sylvia, dead, in a dark room in his own building. Her hair is described as heavy as gold, and the cat just purred on his knee, tightening and relaxing her padded claws until the sky paled. Chilling.
Yeah, that's a powerful example of how the macabre can just subtly intrude into everyday life. The garter becomes this little symbolic thread, right? Leading to this quiet personal horror. It highlights how these strange events can be woven into daily existence, maybe unnoticed by most, but deeply felt by the person affected.
Yeah.
It's a tragedy that unfolds with this almost eerie domesticity.
Okay, next. The Street of the First Shell. This one throws us right into the chaos of war, but also personal struggle.
Right, the Franco-Prussian War setting.
Exactly. Paris, under siege, freezing December, people eating rats, grim stuff. We follow Trent, an artist, his wife Sylvia, their friends, a key plot point. Trent has to identify this guy Hartman, a German spy set to be shot. And Sylvia drops a bombshell, reveals a secret past connection to him, says, "My other life, which binds me to him, must stand forever between you and me."
Ooh, hidden pasts?
Big time. The story dives into the horrors of war, bombardment, chaos. Trent even kills a man in combat, then collapses. He eventually returns to a ruined Paris, steps over steaming bricks, his own house is destroyed.
Devastation.
Total devastation. He finds Sylvia, and she has a child with her. She just says, "They brought it. It is mine." And Trent, he just embraces them both, whispers, "Ours." Nearby, on a wall, some kid, a rat killer, has written, "Here fell the first shell." A stark marker of the terror.
The story, it's grounded in real history, but it weaves in personal tragedy, those hidden pasts, the brutal reality of war. It's deeply emotional. And the ambiguity about the child's origin, plus Trent's quiet acceptance, it adds this layer of unsettling mystery right in the middle of all the physical destruction.
Yeah.
It really highlights how even during huge public catastrophes, these intense private dramas are playing out with profound consequences. Hints at all the untold stories beneath the surface.
Definitely. Then there's the Street of Our Lady of the Fields. This one feels like a young American's journey abroad, but it turns into something more profound.
Innocence abroad.
Kind of. Hastings, a young art student, arrives in Paris. He's got this stern chaperone, Reverend Byram, who's super wary of Jesuits and the immorality of the Latin Quarter. Hastings gets really homesick, finds comfort not with other Americans, but in the old Luxembourg Gardens. And there he meets Valentine.
The romance begins.
Seems like it. She's pretty, independent. He thinks she's an artist. They talk about, the differences between French and American girls' freedom. The story kind of culminates in this symbolic train ride. Valentine urges him, faster, faster, away out of the city, away out of the world.
Whoa.
Yeah. And she confesses she's not worthy, that Hastings is her master of my heart and soul. She even admits she's broken my word to one who trusted me. The ending suggests our gentle lady of the fields might have forgiven them.
It's a compelling exploration, isn't it?
Yeah.
That collision of innocence abroad with themes of freedom, control, personal liberation. The train ride feels like this powerful metaphor for breaking free from old constraints.
Yeah.
But Valentine's confession, it adds this intriguing, subtle note of unease. What does mastery really mean there? What word did she break? It makes you wonder about the cost of that freedom, the hidden burdens she might be carrying.
Right. There's always something underneath. Finally, Rue Barré, the street that's literally and metaphorically blocked, representing barriers and hidden lives.
The Barred Street.
Exactly. We follow Selby, this shy, awkward student in the Latin Quarter. He's a stark contrast to his friend Foxhall Clifford, who's witty, charming, a ladies' man. The story centers on this mysterious pianist. She's known only as Rue Barré, named after the street she lives on, and the street itself is always kept in a perpetual process of repair, physically blocked by a barrier.
Interesting parallel.
Yeah. Selby's attempts to connect with her are just clumsy.
Right.
Like he tries to buy her a rose bush and ends up buying so many flowers that Clifford finds him just sitting in astonishment upon a geranium.
Poor guy.
He also has this drunken wander through Paris that somehow leads him to the Cour du Dragon, another little echo of the other stories.
Connecting the dots.
The emotional climax is Rue Barré's confession. It's really poignant. She talks about her life, that it is hard to work, always alone, with never a friend you can have in honor, and the love that is offered means the street's the boulevard when passion is dead. She refuses Clifford's advances, wanting something real, honorable. She puts a petal from his rose in her book, like this private symbol of an impossible wish.
That's quite melancholic. It gives you this view of loneliness, the compromises people make just trying to survive in the city. And the street itself, always barred, always under repair. It's a perfect mirror for her guarded nature, for the emotional barriers people build.
Yeah.
It raises that sad question. In a world full of fleeting connections, can genuine, honorable affection actually break through? Or are some streets, some lives, just destined to stay barred, reflecting the trapped feelings inside?
Wow. Even in these seemingly everyday stories, there's such a profound sense of melancholy, of the unseen, isn't there? Okay, so these final pieces, grouped under the Prophet's Paradise, they're different. They're brief, almost surreal vignettes scattered through the sources, like little philosophical bombs.
Yeah, like koans, they offer these concise, profound, sometimes really unsettling thoughts on human experience.
Take the one called The Studio. It's about endless waiting for her. Then a voice just says, "Wait no more, they have passed." But the instruction is still, seek her throughout the world, even if the narrator says his world is here, between these walls.
It really speaks to the futility of some desires, doesn't it? But also maybe the relentless, self-imposed nature of a quest, even when it seems pointless.
And the Phantom has this stark little dialogue about time. He comes too late. But someone counters, there is time, and they mention a bridge which few may pass.
It's like a snapshot of hope and despair, right?
Mm-hmm.
Implying some paths might be fated, but maybe not entirely closed off. A narrow chance.
Then, The Throng. It features Pierrot and Truth, who holds a mirror. The crowd laughs, thinking the narrator has been robbed of his purse. But Truth says, Truth is an honest thief. She brings you back your mirror.
Suggesting the real loss isn't money, it's self-perception. A forced confrontation with who you really are, even if it's uncomfortable.
That's quite a thought. And finally, The Love Test. Love presents this challenge. Give her these jewels which would dishonor her and so dishonor you. But then as the contradictory command, then wait if it is true.
It's a sharp commentary, isn't it? On love, sacrifice, the painful choices maybe between perceived honor and what feels like true affection. What does true even mean in that context? These fragments, they might be brief, but they distill these really complex ideas, desire, reality, morality, in these poetic, unsettling moments. And they consistently echo those larger themes we've seen everywhere. Delusion, hidden truths, hinting at some reality just beyond our grasp, one that can reshape how we even see ourselves.
So, after diving through all of this, what does it all mean for you, our listener? We've navigated this landscape where the ordinary just keeps dissolving into the bizarre. Characters grappling with madness, illusion, these fated encounters.
Yeah, from that dystopian 1920s America, through the besieged streets of Paris, out to the misty moors of Brittany. These stories consistently challenge our perception. What's real? What influences our choices? What, if anything, controls our destiny? They keep highlighting that thin, fragile veil between the mundane and the deeply unsettling.
And often catalyzed, it seems, by that forbidden play, The King in Yellow.
Often, yeah. Or at least the ideas it represents.
It really feels like a profound testament to the power of suggestion, doesn't it? The fragility of the human mind.
Yeah.
And just the enduring, maybe terrifying allure of the unknown.
Absolutely. These stories really invite you to consider how much of the reality you perceive is actually objective, how much is shaped by subtle whispers, maybe from unknown forces, maybe just from our own minds, waiting for something like The King in Yellow to make its presence known.
Perhaps the most unsettling thought, maybe, isn't just what lies beyond our understanding, but what truths we might unknowingly carry within us already, just waiting for the right sign to reveal themselves.